We're not here to make up the numbers, we're here to compete as well. This squad, with the power they have on their day, they can do anything they want.
Right, hello, welcome back to the Glassgirls Network, another fan podcast. Been a while since we've done one. Proud sponsors of... There we go. We've got a few topics to talk about today. Very happy day for us. We have secured safety in Tier 3 for next season. Yeah, let's talk about that first. What a game to have, right, John?
Really great game because our players looked excited to play. It actually looked like we was actually in a fair competition. Like, you know, it's not like we was against like a full-time team or a team that's got millions of pounds more than us. It's nothing like that. It was against a team that's a Tier 3 team who's very stable in Liverpool fans, who have been in the top 6 pretty much the whole season. But we didn't just hold our own at points. We was actually ahead of the game. We were doing really well there. And, you know, a shout out to Favour in that game, who absolutely dominated that first half, got a goal, and there will be some photos going around social media by the time this video goes out. That was just an enjoyable game to watch. I know we ended up losing 3-2, but that wasn't a 3-2 loss in regards to performance. That's just the way it's just the way it felt today. But thankfully, Huddersfield lost, which means that we now stay in Tier 3 for a second season, which is phenomenal. You know, some people might say it's a miracle. Some people might say, I don't know what they'll say. Yeah. But on paper, we should not be in Tier 3. Looking at the other clubs in the league, but we are. And that's credit to everyone who's played a part this season, from the very first few games to the final few games.
Agreed. Ollie, what did you make of today? You enjoy yourself?
Yeah, I enjoyed myself. It was good with the Favour goal, and who else scored?
Rosie.
Rosie Envy goal, and also that Newcastle Trust Huddersfield 10-0, and yeah, really good game, and just to know we've secured another season in this division is just phenomenal, to be fair. No one expects us to be where we are. You know, if you'd have asked me this question last year, should we be this year? God probably said no, but this year I'd probably say yes.
Yeah, there we go. We've secured it.
We just done that. I mean, we had Forest at the start of the season, didn't we, Ollie? Yeah. And we went to Nottingham Forest, and you know, we lost. Was it 7-0 at the end of it?
7-1.
7-1.
Was it 7-1?
I don't know.
7-0.
Yeah. Either way, it was hard, and we all looked at each other thinking, "Oh no, is this the way the season's going to go?" But we survived, haven't we?
Yeah. I think it's massive how much that little patch in the sort of when was it, like towards the end of the calendar year, right? Like we had obviously the Stoke draw, which was massive. Our first win was against Fylde away.
Albion.
Yeah, Albion. Obviously, we had Feds who nicked a point.
Yeah, Huddersfield win. Yeah,
Huddersfield. That little period was so massive, because you know, if we didn't have that, we'd have just been battered the whole way through. So you know, it's important that we recognise how crucial those games against teams that are they are better than us, but they are almost on a similar par when you compare it to the likes of Newcastle's and Forest and Wolves and Burnley's. I think it's really important now that we sort of look towards being the best of that group. Which is going to be hard, because there are some amazing footballing teams in that sort of bottom half section. But yeah, we need to figure out how we sort of, you know, become better than what we are at the moment.
I'm sure Andy Pountney, Andy Bullinger and Mike will have a good summer trying to figure that one out, and I'm looking forward to that. But I think a lot will happen from now till the start of next season. So I think we just need to enjoy. I think we need to celebrate what we've achieved, because we could quite easily be sitting here right now thinking, okay, we got promoted, but then we got relegated again. You know, other clubs have done that in the past. They got promoted and then they got relegated the first season, and no one would have said anything. You know, if we got relegated, I'm sure a few fans, away from Stourbridge would have kind of been happy to see Stourbridge get relegated again, but we're not, because what we've done, I'm not going to use the words miracle or this, that and the other, even though I did just use that on Twitter. We've done amazingly well to achieve what we've achieved this season, with a lot of youngsters as well. You know, you have a look at some of the players out there today. They're either academy graduates from either Leicester or our own place, or whether that they're Albion players who may not have got much game time, or they're players who have come from Tier 6 with us to go through. It's been a complete mixture of players this season, and you could argue that it's been even harder to achieve what we've achieved this season because there has been so many changes, management changes as well, you know, but we've still managed to do it. And I'm sure Andy's job at the start of the season, Andy Fisher, and then Mike Harris' job at the end of the season, their job was to make sure that we was better than 2 other teams in this league, and we've done that. So I think we just have to take credit, you know, massive credit to everyone involved.
No, absolutely, I agree. I think the only problem is now that we know it's going to get so much harder because we've seen what Newcastle have done being a full-time team. I think teams like Wolves and Forest will take a lot of inspiration from that, and possibly, you know, go and do that sort of idea themselves. Craig, how do you think sort of next season looks for us?
I think it's going to be it is going to be a tough season. There's no reason why we can't stay up there, but it's going to be a lot harder than what it is this year. You know, this year was a tough season, and also I think next year is going to be just as tough. I think the only benefit that we've got possibly going for us is we'll have a whole pre-season with the same set of players, whereas this season we went into it and there's been a lot of change that's not helped us. So yeah, I would say that if we're going to have a good pre-season, there's no reason why we can't stay up again next year. But I think it's going to be a lot harder than what it's been this year. Yeah,
no, I agree. I think the fact that it's so hard to call is because of we're looking at it from right now. We're looking at a group of players that have recently come together over the last 4 or 5 months, and they've not had a whole lot of time together, and they're all young players, and you know, when like you say, when we see a whole pre-season of them together and a couple new additions as well, you know, who knows where we'll be? We could well be amongst your Albions and Halifaxes and people like that. Like it's hard to see.
When you talk about youngsters, let's just name a few. You've got Senna Robinson, who's just recently come out of our reserve team like did this year.
I'm just going to click that on my screen because I think it's still recorded.
You just keep going.
Keep going, John.
You've got Erin Griffiths, who's obviously come from Wolves Academy. You've got Maisty Winters. You've got Maria Timms. I don't know what their ages are, but they're all around about 20, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, maybe younger. Then, you know, you've got other players just knocking on the door as well. We have played a lot of youngsters this season.
Absolutely.
And I think we know across the area, you signed another youngster. But they're ones potentially for the future who wanted Tier 3 experience. We've given them Tier 3 experience and they're achieving, aren't they? So I think it's fantastic. It really is. It's not been easy and we've done it the hard way, but we've done it, which is, it doesn't matter how you do it, that's not up to us. We just need to enjoy it and to support. It's up to Mike how we do it. You know, the chairman says, okay, this is what I want from you, and then Mike's achieving that goal.
Yeah. Speaking of it not being easy,
I like that.
Let's talk about the 3 games previous to the one we've had today. Burnley, Wolves, and Forest, and Newcastle as well, included in that, I guess. Very, very hard time, very hard watches at times, but you know, it's just what you've got to go through. Obviously, no one expected us to get any points against any of those sides. So some of the results were disappointing, but some of the results 2-0 to Forest.
That was good.
That's not a terrible result.
Forest was a good game.
Yeah.
I thought we were good against Burnley as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's so difficult to ever be able to close that gap because of them being backed by Premier League Championship sides, and you know the Newcastle, for example, having a full-time scheme going on. It's almost impossible for us to ever think about matching that from where we're at currently. But yeah, like we say, if we can put in good results, well, like, you know, a solid performance like we did against Forest, you know, can we, you know, is that ever something that can happen? Can we sneak within that bracket of teams that are cut above from the rest?
I don't think we'll ever break into like the top 4 or 5, because I think gradually more and more teams in Tier 3 will become full-time, and you can see this season the likes of Newcastle, who have gone full time, they're way ahead. But I think next season, all of a sudden, instead of competing against the likes of Huddersfield and Fylde, we'll be competing against the likes of Feds and Halifax maybe at this stage, which will be obviously a lot harder because we've only took 1 point from Feds and 1 point from Halifax, as opposed to 6 points against Fylde and potentially 6 points from Huddersfield. So I think it will be 10 times harder, like Craig said. I think, you know, the top few teams will be very, very hard to get points against next season, and there will be more teams in the league next year who will be pumping in a lot more money because they've seen the success of Newcastle, and just the way women's football in general is going to, you know, tier 4. There's a lot more money in tier 4 this season than there was last, and tier 5 the same, and I'm sure it's going all the way over. So I think next year, I think it will just be a case of just trying to stabilise in tier 3 again. Obviously it depends how the summer goes, a lot can happen from now till then, but for me it's just always about staying above your top two, you know, so you're staying above 2 teams, so you consolidate that you know, your position in the league. And then if we can pull out some memorable moments like we have this season, Albion winning them 7-2 down here, let's not forget that one, by the way, you know, that's an amazing achievement.
Yeah.
And you never know, we might just get a draw again against the likes of Stoke or someone like that. Stoke will be 10 times harder next year, by the way. But if we can get another draw down here against a big team, I think that's where we're at, and that's okay. You know, that's where we're at. That's okay.
Yeah, I think it's quite representative of that I think Mike himself talked a lot about just scoring goals against those top teams.
Yeah.
I think it was Burnley where we went 1-0 up quite early.
Yeah, penalty.
Kelsey Richardson penalty, I think. But even that's massive, you know, because we know the difference. So to even to be playing within the same league as these teams is quite the achievement. But to be you know, to be winning a game against Burnley for a period is it's very good.
And I think people forget about that, and it'll be interesting to see what Ollie says as well, because we take it for granted as a fan base now, the fact that we're playing Newcastle, Forest, Burnley, Wolves, Albion, Derby, all these household names, because this time a year ago or 2 years ago we was playing teams that we never even heard of, and now we're here and they're like, we've expected to win them. You know, all of a sudden, just because we're here, it doesn't mean that we've expected to win them.
Yeah.
Ollie, what are your thoughts playing these top teams, like what we've been playing lately?
They've all been a test, but the two matches that did well was the Notts Forest game and the Burnley game. The Wolves game, we don't mention about that one. But
It's fair enough, isn't it?
But if somehow the score was reversed the other way, the West Brom score on, we would have all been happy to beat another rival.
No,
Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about a new arrival. We've had a few over the past few months, but a returning face, Niamh Deasy, back to the club. Played 2 times, come off the bench for us both appearances so far. She's back. Ollie, what do you think of Niamh Deasy's return?
I think it's good, and we've got our Deasy back. We've got our Deasy back. We've got our Deasy back.
Yeah, we do.
And she's a goal scorer as well.
This is it. I think that's something that we've almost lacked quite a lot recently. Just that one player that knows where the back of the net is, that is going to find you
so
goals.
close today.
Could have
had
twice. Could have had 2 today. It's just that quality, because being able to get her in those positions to almost get a goal is a success within itself. I feel. Because, you know, we've had it where, you know, Newcastle and Burnley, where we've hardly created anything. So to be in this league and making chances, I think it says a lot about Niamh's game, and I think it says a lot about us that she's come back because she feels that she's got almost unfinished business here. Like, she's helped us retain our position in this league, and hopefully can kick on next season if she was to stick around, which I hope she does. It'd be really, really interesting to see with a full season and previous a whole year of tier 3 experience how she does after that.
I think that's the advantage, isn't it, going into next season, is the fact that we have got experience in tier 3 now. There won't be any surprises. We know, you know, you'll be up against 3 or 4 Newcastles next season, and we know what the expectations are. And you speak about strikers. You know, it must have been so hard for the strikers this season. The likes of Niamh Deasy, who's so used to having several chances throughout the game because she's always at the top of the league, whether it be with us last year, Sutton the year before. Did she play for Lisfield at one point? I think she might have done, like in her younger days. So she's always played for teams who have been towards the top of the league. All of a sudden now, she's playing for a team, and went to play for Albion as well, towards the bottom of the league, that create less chances. Again, playing as a striker against the bottom of the league tier 3 team is so much more different, and it's improved her as a player this year, no doubt. Doesn't matter if it's Albion or Stoke. We've both been around about the same kind of level this season. She would have improved a hell of a lot as a player, and it's great to see that she's come back. You know, it really is. So, Craig, I mean, I know that you was chatting to her at the bar before I came in today.
Yeah.
How was she? In good spirits?
Yeah, very good spirits. Yeah. I think, like I say, glad to be back at Stourbridge, and like I say, it's massive that she is back with us. Like we were saying earlier, you know, you're guaranteed that you're going to get goals from her, and she's a massive personality that lifts. I would imagine lifts the changing room. You know, when we're going through these tough matches, you need people like Niamh that will sort of get the other players morale up, and it's just very positive that she's back.
It was a little swish of the old cameras, sort of storage and all that. It's a long story.
A lot of videos today. Could we just
plenty of content. But yeah, no, I think it's a massive statement that Niamh has chosen to come back from a club like West Brom, an established tier 3 side, to come back to Stourbridge, who, you know, broke through the ranks and aren't established as of yet. I think you know, she's enjoyed her almost 1.5 years here, where she's got promotions, she's got to cup finals, she's won top goal scorer for the league. And then she's got chants made about her, she's got plenty of songs, stuff like that. She's a fan favourite in the bar and things like that. And then you go to somewhere like West Brom, where perhaps the culture isn't just similar to Stourbridge. I think that's you know, the problem that she found, and you know, she's been quite open in saying that it wasn't for her. So she's come back, and you know, she's hopefully loving it like she was when she first arrived, which is amazing. But yeah, Ollie, are you happy to see Niamh back? What do you think is Niamh's? What do you think she's going to offer to us next season?
Hopefully more goals than the season.
Yeah, hopefully more goals. Yeah, Niamh, if you're watching,
More goals.
No pressure.
I think she set them up back in really well, to be fair.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
come off the bench, like, you know, she hadn't played in about 6 weeks, and then she came off the bench against Forest.
Yeah.
And that second half against Forest, when she played, was arguably one of the best performances that we've had in the last 3 or 4 months. Not just because of Niamh, of course, but like, you know, she was part of that. Come off the bench again today. You know, you have to remember that she's not played for about 6 or 7 weeks.
Yeah.
She's not trained for 2 or 3 weeks. You know, so it's hard to just suddenly just go straight back into a new team, because there's been a few changes since she's been here as well.
Yeah.
And she's done alright. She's done alright. And like Craig said earlier, if we have a good pre-season, it's bang on. You know, let's get a pre-season with these players, and then, you know, I'm sure they'll be even better going into next season.
Yeah, I think off the pitch as well. Like I got here, and she was here with a couple of other people. I think Josh was one of the. And we just sat down. We were just chatting to her about where she's been. She'd been to Italy for skiing or whatever it was. You know, it's just like she's never left.
Mm-hmm.
It's like she's never had that period away, which is
weird.
great.
It is weird, because it does feel like if any of the other players come back, maybe not Lammy and Alex, because they've been around the club a bit more since they've left. But like, it is almost like she was destined to come back in a way.
Yeah.
I don't feel awkward or like surprised that she's back.
Yeah. It was almost like she was out injured.
Yeah.
Just came back.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's like destined to come back in some way.
Yeah,
it is
I think
interesting.
It's very important how she left as well, because you know, she left in a very positive way. We all still love her, and you know, we had a lot of sort of understanding, I guess, when she left. You know, she's gone to West Brom, which is a bigger name and a bigger club. And yeah, like we said though, she's found out that it wasn't for her, and she's come back, and yeah, it's almost like she's never been away, which is absolutely brilliant.
2 questions before we go. One, what defines success this season, and have we been successful? Because there's been a few questions about that in the fan base. And two, what this was from Richard Clark about away days and away fans this season.
Yeah.
So you started off, Keith.
I think success is very, very different this season. Obviously, we're not winning the league. We're not winning county cups or league cups or whatever it is.
It's a bit hard when you play Wolves and rugby.
Exactly.
Ball,
yeah, never easy. But yeah, I think you can't not count this season as a success for us, because we've almost defied every odd by even staying within this league. When you look at the budgets, we look at the situations that we've had where players have left and managers have left and a whole new teams have to be brought in and things like that. That's never easy for any team. If Newcastle did that, they'd struggle. It's never going to be easy. So I think having stayed within this league and confirmed it today, I think that signs off a successful season in my books.
Yeah, totally agree. What do you guys think?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's we've what the club set out to do, we've done, and with that, you've got to say it's been a successful season. It's you now start looking forward to next year and building for next season, sort of thing. And I think it's job done as far as everything that you needed to do this year has been accomplished, sort of thing.
Yeah, Ollie, are you happy the way the season's gone in the end?
Yeah. Although I was hoping we'd get a goal against Wolves.
Yeah, it would have been nice to get a goal.
Maybe next season. We'll get them next season.
Yeah.
At least we got Albion. At least we got a win against Albion.
Yeah.
The 17 scoring against West Brom.
Yeah, that's got to be the highlight, hasn't it?
A few good foul cells there from Anthony Falcus done as well of that day.
And happy West Brom with that 17 score.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, Kieran, on that in regards to success, because I think it's very unfair to move the goalposts halfway through the season or 3/4 of the way through the season. The goal was, and it's on this channel, from the chairman and from Andy Fisher, who started the season. The goal was to stay in the league, and we've done that. So to turn around and micro-analyse a specific player or a specific player's gone in and out or a specific result, I think that's just like looking for negativity, I guess.
Yeah.
So, like I said, the goal was to stay in this league, and we've done that with a game in hand. And potentially, we could be like 9 points clear by the end of the season if we win Huddersfield last game of the season. Something along them lines. I can't remember now. I've seen so many different permutations. It could be 9 or 10 points clear of the drop zone by the end of the season, which is an amazing achievement because it is what it is, isn't it? So I think anybody who expected us to start winning Forest, Burnley, Wolves at the start of the season, yes, you could hope. But we've seen this season that those teams have been phenomenal, and they are a league above us. Yeah. So we've achieved what we set out at the start of the season, and we should be very happy about that.
I think it's really important as well what you say about moving the goalposts halfway through the season, because we had that period. I think it was when we had that sort of high of Stoke and Fire the win and West Brom, where we were almost teetering on the top 5 or something like that.
Carried away.
Absolutely.
Finish above Albion.
It's right to get carried away, but like from a when you take a step back and think about it, where we've come from and what we are achieving now, and then you start losing those games, which is inevitably going to come. We weren't going to start winning West Brom and then forward and then win all the rest of them for the rest of the season. You can't always
we haven't
get
got the squad depth for that.
Absolutely not.
No. We've seen that.
No, so I think it's important that we know where we've come from and what we're achieving now and how important staying in this league is for the club as a whole.
Yeah. Away days, Craig. What's been your favourite away days? And not only away days, but like the away fans. The fans have come down here as well. Because I think there's been a few positive.
Absolutely.
I don't think I've heard anyone be negative towards us.
No.
I think it's been really, really appreciative.
To be fair, I enjoyed Liverpool fans away.
Yes.
I thought that was I think their setup there is very good. I thought that was good. Obviously, the result was good as well. Away fans down here, I don't think you can really single any out. I think they've all came down here, and I think they've all sort of, from the feedback that you've got, they've enjoyed it. I can't really single out any any real away supporters that have come here, and they've all been really good, to be fair, and enjoyed the time down here.
Definitely.
How about you, Ollie? You enjoyed any particular away days or coach journeys or fans down here, the away fans down here?
Which subway was your favourite on the services?
Liverpool played one.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
It's funny how I think that sticks in my head as well.
Yeah.
I think it's just something a bit different. It wasn't like an ordinary stadium.
Yeah.
The views were amazing as well,
Yeah.
weren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
And even Feds coming back down here today were very respectful. You know, they says, you know, see you next season.
Yeah.
But they said it in a way of like, congratulations. You know, we'll see you next season.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Liverpool Feds are probably the team that surprised me the most. I didn't know too much about them going into the season. But I never expected them to be in the top 5, top 6 throughout the season, like they have been. I appreciate they've played a few more games than others, hence why they've always been up there, but still got the results. I want to shout out Burnley as well. Burnley coming down here.
Yeah.
They've been so respectful towards us, the managers, the coaches, the players, everyone. Like, you know, they could come in here thinking, oh, we're a Premier League team with lots of money, and I'm sure they'll be full time in the next year or two, and they deserve to be, and I get that. But they weren't arrogant about anything, and the manager I know gets on well with the people around here as well. So yeah, I want to shout out Burnley because I thought they were very well, handled things very, very well.
Yeah, I think it's quite interesting how we highlight Liverpool Feds because that was a draw.
Yeah.
But you know, we have games like Halifax away where that was a draw.
Yeah.
But it feels so different.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Because Liverpool Feds, Kelsey Richardson in the 80 whatever minute it was, bagging the free kick. It was one of those that felt like a win. But then, you know, like Halifax, where you concede in the 90th minute from a scrappy little corner, it feels like an absolute, you know, knife to the chest. It's like pretty much like a loss.
Yeah.
I remember the coach journey home. Like it wasn't a very fun experience, but it's the same result in a way.
Yeah.
I think it's just interesting. It says a lot about the narratives of football, really. Personally, I think the away trip to Liverpool itself, Burnley was really good. It's a nice little setup they got there. Plenty of fans there as well. Always good. And I think it was a nice sunny day as well, from what I remember, which always helps.
I never saw that.
Always helps. Foiled as well, getting our first ever win in Tier 3.
When everyone said we're going to win 5-1.
Yeah, he was.
9 minutes at 2-0.
Yeah.
He was quite an arrogant burger man.
He was,
So that one sticks out in the memory. Obviously, the first win ever in Tier 3 for the club. Very historic moment. And yeah, like the ones that you've mentioned as well, like Liverpool Feds, obviously a great day, great result for us.
Yeah.
I've just really enjoyed this league. Last season was good. We had good relationships with Peterborough and Northampton and a lot of the other teams in and around us. But yeah, this league, I feel like we've come into it sort of as the sort of minnows, and people don't hate us because we're not running away with the league first time I've been in it. So it's quite different. I've enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to going back to places like Burnley and Newcastle hopefully next season. I think it's going to be really, really fun.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, I agree. The season hasn't quite finished just yet, so there will be still a couple more videos going out, before the season finishes and over the summer as well. Look, I'm glad that everyone's enjoyed today. I think there's about 175 people in attendance to watch us get safety in Tier 3, which is a huge achievement. And let's look forward to Huddersfield away, May the 5th. We'll have to do something special where I've got an idea or two. And it includes Kieran and a microphone if he's up for it.
Oh yes, stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribing.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you, and thank you for tuning in. And we shall see you again soon.
See you later.
See you again soon for the new season.